Hello everybody, my name is Dutchy, welcome to RPG Labs, and are you ready to rumble? Because if you guys are, this video is going to be explaining to you some advanced tips, some beginner tips, and all of the in-between sort of things. Now, I have already made a video on the perks and the abilities, so I'm not really going to go into depth with that. If you guys want, go check those two videos out, and then you can come back to those videos if you want. Or you can just stay here and watch those videos after. Up to you guys. Alright, my first tip is going to be about when you land, and especially when it comes to crowded areas like this water tower over here. Now, what you want to do is actually pocket as much as you can, but don't use any of the items. Now, the reason you want to do this is so that you actually have a whole bunch of items on you, but at the same time, nobody else can grab those items. Now, the main reason you want to do this is because of speed. It takes you longer to drink or read a book than it does for you to actually quickly put it away. Now, obviously, when you have a little bit of space and you know you can read a book, I would recommend quickly reading it. But just make sure that you have the space to actually read it. And it is quite handy for you to have a book active, because at least then you'll have an ability that you can quickly use against other people. Especially when it comes to high-rise areas like this water tower or one of the other towers, because you really want to knock people off. Now, this isn't only for high drop areas, this can basically be throughout the entire game as well. So just make sure that when there's people around, you don't start drinking, you don't start having things, because it will hinder you a lot. Now, a lot of you guys probably already noticed this, but as I was fighting this guy, I was actually throwing a whole bunch of stuff at him. Now, the reason I do this is, one, it will break open the crates, meaning I can quickly grab some loot and put it in my pocket, but two, it does a lot of damage, especially the gold crates. So technically, you are getting two birds with one stone in this little situation. Now, throwing items at your enemies is actually one of the most useful things you can do in the game. Especially when you're trying to fight over a piece of chicken or a book or something like that. Because a lot of the time people will just try to rush for it and grab it, and then you can quickly throw something at them. Like over here, I know that this guy really wants the chicken, so he's probably low. So I wait at this box, he grabs the chicken, I throw it straight at him, and then I have the chicken. Now, the funny thing about this is I don't actually need the chicken, so I throw it straight back at him. But I can also throw other items at him just to annoy him a bit. But in the end, he backs up and the chicken is all mine. The other guy also backs up and I proceed to grab the chicken and nom 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 it is. Now, the thing is, you can actually throw all the items in the game. Now, you can throw the chicken, you can throw your protein powder. Like over here, I actually pull out one of my protein powders and actually throw it in someone's face. So technically, if you have something in your pocket, you'll be able to throw them at them and be able to stun them for a second. Just make sure, like what I did over there, I kind of screwed up a little bit by accidentally throwing it a little bit too early. But hey, in the end, I still get a beautiful little kill with a chicken elimination. Alright, now let's just go a little bit off topic, but while I was recording footage to get for this video I'm making right now, I actually came across this fella right here, who is cheating his balls off, because you cannot go that speed. Like, he is going way faster than you're supposed to, he is getting out of, like, moves way faster than he's supposed to, but this guy still sucks completely. He is cheating, and we should all keep an eye out for all of that and always report him. A little tip, anyway, since this is a tips video. Cheaters never ever seem to block, which is kind of handy because this guy right here just the whole time was spamming moves and didn't have a clue what he was doing. That's the thing about a cheater. They never learn the game and they just try to spam, 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 spam. I mean, just look at this guy sprinting around like a madman, basically. Like, he has no idea what he's doing. And because of that, I punish him with a nice little slam on the ground. But anyway, enough about cheaters, let's keep going with the video. Now, let me ask you, how many times in this game has this happened to you? You try to get away from someone, but they just keep relentlessly coming after you, doing damage and damage and damage, and at one point you are literally one shot away and there's nothing you can really do. Well, I have a really good solution for you. When it comes to getting away from people, the best thing to always do is to climb a building. Not just because you try to lose your pursuer, but because you can do a beautiful little elbow drop down. Like in this clip right here, I'm actually so low on health. So what I ended up doing, I climb something quickly, I wait for a second, I see what's happening, he's coming back down. I climb as high as I can and I just get it lined up and wait for it. Bam! I knock him straight back down. What I do straight away after that, I climb the building again, and the guy backs up. Now, the thing is, if your pursuer really doesn't want to give up on you and just keeps on chasing you and keeps coming up the wall no matter what, then, well, good for you, because you're gonna get some free damage off on him. Because as you can see over here, this guy just keeps chasing me, and every single time he climbs up the wall, I just quickly elbow drop down, and he can't do anything because he can't block while he's climbing. Another cool little tip is that if you get enough health, I would recommend getting away from the person if you just don't have enough health, but you can still trick them out and actually get a little bit of a cheeky grab on them as well. So basically the moral of the story is listen to Obi-Wan.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate my power!
Now when you do have the high ground, a really good thing to always do is to find someone and drop down on them, because 90% of the time they will not expect it. Now this is always a good thing to do, especially because you'll be able to get some perks from fighting people. Now you can actually, funny enough, do this from the ground, but you just need to find a bounceable object. All the cars in the game are bounceable, so that's always a good option. Now you can elbow drop on the car twice to get the maximum amount of height, and then you can drop on the enemies. Just make sure that they're not really aware of you doing this, because otherwise they will just hold block and they will get a free hit on you. But honestly, this is one of the easiest moves to pull off, and especially if people are fighting each other, or just distracted in general, like reading a book or doing some other sort of activity, this is such an easy way to get some hardcore damage off. There's one more way you could technically do this, and that is by using the rocket as well. Now go into a medium-ish building and then just use the rocket, and you'll be able to float down pretty slowly and then ground pound exactly when you want to. Now you can actually also use this as a fake out by actually using the rocket to pretend to ground pound onto someone and actually jumping up into the air, and instead of ground pounding you quickly go for a grab as you hit the ground. Now one of my favorite abilities in this game is Cosmo Shot. Now what this ability does, it kicks your opponent up into the air and then you kick him again while you're up in the air. Now the cool thing about this is, technically it has a secret third move that nobody really knows about. Now once you've done the second kick, the only thing you need to do is hit the normal attack button and you'll be dropped down with a elbow. Now this is really handy in a crowded situation, because most of the time when you come back down from the Cosmo Shot, you're kind of left open a little bit, and people will usually take advantage of that and hurt you a lot. But with this move you'll be able to actually outsmart them and do some damage to them instead. Now you can actually pull off a really cheeky little move when someone is chasing you or if someone's about to hit you. Now if you get the rocket, you can actually jump off a building and jump straight back on top of the building, dealing a bit of damage to the player itself. Now the damage isn't crazy, but you can actually set yourself up to do a lot more damage later on. Now when it comes to the final circle, it's very important for you to get the high ground. Now high ground is usually one of the best options in the game, because on the low ground a lot of people will be fighting like normal. Now especially if you have the rocket, which is just the most useful tool in the game in my opinion, you can literally get up to the high ground without any hassle, and you can actually drop down on people and get so much damage done. Now, especially in the final circle, everyone is hectically fighting each other, so no one's going to suspect you dropping down on them. Now, this is really important. When it comes to supers, you never want to be the first to pop your super. You always want to be the second, because the second person can get invincibility frames, and then you can take advantage of them trying to grab you with their super. Oh, and another little tip for when you get back down, because they will still have super when you don't, is you can actually dodge past people with their super, so you won't get grabbed if you dodge. Alright, well I'm going to leave it at that for now. There are a lot more tips and tricks I can give you guys, and there's a lot more combo wombos out there. But I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, maybe subscribe, and maybe leave a like if you feel like it. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Bye!